Speak. Yes, yes, I can hear it now. Okay.
Okay, so you can hear it now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Hi, Sparkle, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hold on a
Okay.
minute. I just gotta turn up the volume.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
That is, yep, that's up because I got the
Perfect.
tablet flipped.
Perfect. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Waiting
I
for
want
Miss
to
Kate.
apologize. I want to apologize for not having gone into the garden lately.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff going on in my house. It's really stressful, and
Okay.
I haven't been getting out and about. It is something that I think about a lot. I watch the videos and stuff like that. I have some ideas that I want to share that I think that might be helpful. So I just want to make it clear that even if it looks like I'm not interacting, because I'm going to be honest with you throughout the project of this process, I'm still happy to be a part of it. And I just can't wait till things get more normal in my life again so I can start to enjoy stuff.
I understand. Everybody's life right now is abnormal. Trust me. It is totally abnormal. Let's see. I got some more people coming in. Let me see who I got. Let's see. Come on, somebody. I was sending everybody their messages out to remind them. Let's see.
Ask what's wrong.
Hi. Who is that? Who's joined us? Who is that? Is that Shanika?
Looks like it.
Yeah, it does. All righty. Let's see. Can you hear us, Shanika?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Welcome, welcome. I'm just waiting for Nakia and Kay. Where's Kay? Let me give Kay a call to remind her that we are up and ready to roll because this is her class. You all belong to Miss Kay. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. We are on Zoom. I'm multitasking here,
Same here.
sending a message to Kay. Let's see, is anybody else trying to get in? No, just the three of us so far. Let's see. Hope she's not having problems with connections. All righty. Let's see. Let me do this. Let me give Kay a call.
Well, they're still on.
Let's see.
I don't know if I can use these particular headphones.
Okay, somebody else. Okay, all righty. Somebody else I just let in the room. That must be Nikki. Nikki, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Is Brandon with you? Oh, there he is, and there's the baby. How you all doing?
Hey, we good. I'm trying to take care of her. She's trying to get outside. I'm trying to run after her.
She's trying to escape, huh?
Come on, Lord, come on, Isabella. Just give me a second. We can go outside in a few minutes.
Oh my goodness. All righty. Kay just texted me back and said she's having a little problem with the phone, but she'll be on in 1 minute. So before, how's everybody doing before we get started? Everybody doing well?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Excellent. I've already talked to Sparkle about her visits to the garden. How are you all doing with visiting over there? Anybody?
Good.
Oh, everything was good.
Good.
Yeah.
So what are you,
I took a lot of pictures and everything over there.
oh, you did, well, great. If you could send those pictures to me on my 332 number. Send some of those pictures to me. Is it any activity other than what you all have seen or done, other people over there, or what's happening?
Just us when we went.
Yeah, it was just us.
Okay, awesome. What do you see? What's actually being, does the crops or the plants look pretty good? Because we've gotten a lot of rain.
Absolutely.
So it's getting a lot, the rain is helping, I think, a whole lot.
So far I seen, like, in between time, I seen a few single people go over there and water the plants.
Okay.
I've seen that. I even checked the soil to see if it was moist enough.
Good. Yeah. Is it anyone that you recognize that's over there, or? Okay, cool.
No,
but
the cars would park over there.
Right.
I would see like one black car that would come over like every few days.
Okay, but
it was like a Caucasian woman.
Yeah. As long as you all are spending a little bit of time in that garden, it's perfectly fine. Good. I just let Kay in the room, so she should be in shortly. I think I hear her. There she is. We're all here, Kay.
Hello. Yay. Hi, everyone. I am so sorry that I am late, but technology being what it is, I had to make sure that I was because I get really involved taking pictures and doing all of that and forget to actually plug in my phone. So here we are. Looking forward to this week where we're covering chapter 3. Who all is here? Can we take a real quick roll call?
Shanika
all I see is like Alcatel Fierce 4, Fire Tablet, LG Stilo. I don't see like the names. So can everybody just give a real quick shout out?
Sparkle's here.
Shanika's here.
Yay!
The Jackson family.
You said the Jackson family.
Everyone is present and accounted for today.
Okay, yay. So this week we are looking, this is week number 3, and it sounds like you guys were talking about being out in the garden and what was okay to do and not do. Who wants to bring me up to speed on, I guess, what those questions were?
Say it again, I couldn't really hear you.
I said it sounded like when I came in, you guys had already kind of started a conversation about being out in the garden that's, across the street there. Had any of you had an opportunity to do that this week?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Took lots of pictures.
Did anyone happen to get any photos or video footage?
Yeah.
Share?
We're gonna send
you guys know how to share that here?
We're gonna send it to Miss Renata.
Oh, okay. So while you're looking at Zoom, if you look at the bottom row, there's a right smack in the middle, there's a button that says share. Oh, it says that it's disabled. Aha.
Wait a minute, let me see. Do I need to undo it on my end? One participant
yes,
can share
that's
at a time.
Exactly it.
Multiple participants can share simultaneously. Let me do that. All right, try it now.
Try it now. Okay.
Yeah.
So right smack in the middle, you've got share, and then you can share from all of these different places. So if you've got a OneDrive, I have a Google Drive, but then also you can share a photo, a link, a document, right? So I'm getting ready to go into my Google Drive, and
I
Hold
don't
on.
think so.
See if I can share a photo with you guys, because it would be really cool if we could take a look at some of the images that you guys actually got this week. And I'm certain that Miss Renata won't mind sharing them at all.
No, no.
On Mommies, Babies, Bellies, and Daddies Facebook.
Yeah.
But if we can share them amongst each other, you'll actually have to connect Zoom to your file. And for me, it's okay to do so.
That's okay.
So I'm looking for some pictures that I took while I was out this week.
Here it is. Share photo.
To see.
Gallery. You go to camera.
Are they building more little beds over there?
Building more beds?
Yeah, because I see the wood and stuff over there.
Yeah, ultimately. Oh, yay. Look at that. What is that?
Mulberries, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay, yay.
that's the mulberries I found over there.
I didn't know we had mulberries. I eat them all the time.
Yes, it's tucked in the back.
Over there eating all of
It's
those.
it's by the water system.
Yes. If there's any left, because Hashan was definitely eating.
Yeah, some more pictures.
Okay. So you guys, it sounds like looks like you guys have the general gist of sharing a photo or a video or something directly from your phone.
Yeah, like the whole bed.
Okay, somebody else has got some. Oh, wow. All right. So what you're looking at then, that takes us right into, because those look really good and really healthy. What you're looking at right there are actually tomato plants. And I've got one right here. Oh, wait. Right there. And I'm going to bring each one of you guys one of these to practice the planting activity, which is to actually put one of these in the soil yourself. And that way you'll be able to manage it from home. So it'll be, you're going to plant it from the from this small size into a 5-gallon bucket size. And the reason to do that is because you've got to give the plant room to grow, room to absorb soil, and also it's going to need some fertilizer. So someone asked me last week about compost. If you go over in the garden, when you first walk in all the way down by the water structures, you'll see kind of what looks like a mound of dirt and then directly in front of it a hole. Anybody know what I'm talking about?
I think you showed me when we was over there.
Okay, so all the way back, like I said, towards the end, there's, like I said, there's a mound of dirt, and then directly in front of it, there's what appears to be a hole. That is actually compost, and so it is fertile soil. It's actually not bad as a way to amend your plant once you get it. And so what I'd hope to accomplish today before we get off the call is, 1, to talk about the warm season crops in the garden. 2, how I can get your tomato plant to you. 3, where you can find the resources you need to get it from this into a 5-gallon bucket, into a soil, into a growing medium. And we're going to talk about why those tomatoes look so good this week. Whose picture was that, by the way?
I
Who
think
shared
that's
the picture
Brandon.
of the tomato plants just now?
I think that was Nikki.
So are there worms being used in that compost?
What's that?
Are there worms being used in the compost pile?
There are not worms being used in that compost pile. Typically, worms have to be, they do feed on compost, but they would generally have to be naturally occurring there. And in man-made compost piles, often that is not the case. You're gonna get situations where worms are actually added to the compost pile for those benefits.
Yeah, they sell them like by the pound. So I was just curious as to what your take was on that and whether that would be beneficial and helpful to our situation.
So what we're going to be doing in doing a pot planting that you can put, right outside your home, that wouldn't necessarily be something you'd want to add worms to. But if you were actively composting, you would definitely want worms to be a part of your process because they're going to give off castings. So their poop basically makes the compost better. And it also breaks down the carbon and the nitrogen and mixes the materials. Like actually them crawling through it actually mixes the materials. So, but what you guys are gonna get, soil preparation tools, you're gonna get like just a mini spade, like a mini shovel, right? And then a 5-gallon bucket, right? You'll need a little stick just to kind of measure your soil depth. And it doesn't need to be like an official ruler or anything like that, but just something where you can eyeball what an inch is. You're gonna get those summer plants, which in this case is tomato. And these seedlings are ready to be transplanted. You can tell because they've got one, here, take a look at this. They've got 1, 2, 3 layers of leaves. And that's generally when your plants are gonna be ready to be transplanted. So when you show up with this small plant and it gets transferred into the larger session, we're gonna talk about what's the best way to handle the plant carefully. Give me a second, because I'm actually going outside. And what you can see here, I'm patio gardening. So the way to handle a plant carefully is when you get this plant, it's okay to wet it a little bit and then pull it so that the entire root ball comes out, right? You want to have your soil waiting so that you can stick it right back in. But make sure that when you're handling your plant, you're always taking a really good care of that root ball. And from there, you're going to be looking at creating a hole that is about the depth of the root ball. So here I've got a 5-gallon black bucket. All right, so take a look at that. I don't know if you can see that. That's hard to see. All right, so that hole is about the depth of my root ball, right? So my root ball fits completely down in the hole. And then I'm gonna cover that back over with soil.
Thank goodness they all fruit. Come on.
Now that's harder to see, so I'm gonna actually do one out in the garden in about 2 hours if anybody wants to come out. Is there anybody that can come out to the garden and pick up a tomato plant today?
I can.
We can.
You can?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's say 4 o'clock. Okay, because I've actually got all 4 of them for you guys. And I'll do another demonstration out there in the garden because the light's a lot better there. And then we'll be able to, I'd love to be able to record a couple of you guys also doing your transplantation of warm season crops.
That would be great.
So this warm season crop tomato takes about 82 days to maturity. And that means that you will have tomatoes, I'm gonna say by the end of August.
Right.
Okay. So with that, the primary thing to cover today was how to safely handle the plants. And that's a matter of having the right tools, which you'll be receiving today, and also making sure that you're getting good sun. Here, I took a look at where sunlight actually enters my patio. And you can see the sun's kind of coming from overhead. So you're also going to want to pick out a nice sunny spot outside for your plants.
Okay.
All right. So in addition to being beneficial, oh no, is he okay? The baby okay?
Oh, she's fine.
Oh, she's fine.
Okay.
So in addition to what's the best way to handle plants carefully, we've got having the right tools, having the right sunlight, making sure that they're in the right size container for the plant, knowing that when you've got about 3 layers of leaves, you're going to be shifting out of what they call germination mode into production mode. That plant's making nutrients, it's extracting them from the soil, and ready, and it can actually extract all of the nutrients in a soil. Anybody ever like took a plant out and it didn't seem like there was any more soil? It just seemed like it was all root ball. No, that's okay. That's quite all right. So other warm season crops that are in the garden right now are beans. I saw some string beans go in, tomatoes, peppers, and just recently collard greens. I saw a fresh batch of collard greens go in. Now, other warm season crops are like someone mentioned watermelon, cucumbers, or squash would all be considered warm season crops, which means that they thrive when it is above 70 degrees. Right now we are having unprecedented below 70 degree weather. It is unprecedented to have below 70 degree weather this late in the season. Generally, you're going to be reliably above 70 degrees all the way starting in April. So this is kind of a unique thing that's happening here in Virginia right now with the weather, but it does give us an opportunity to get started on some warm season crops right now, and then you guys will be enjoying tomatoes by August. So did anyone have any particular question about warm season crops? Now, these are the types of things that as soon as it gets cold, they're gonna die. So because, like I said, we're in this strange kind of weather place, the tomato plants that I'm going to bring to you, I am gonna say until it's consistently above 70 degrees, even at night, you may wanna bring them inside. I'm thinking that through, and we do have some rollers that you can set it on, because once it's in a 5-gallon bucket with, you know, quarts and quarts of soil, it is pretty heavy. So we'll have something to help you guys wheel those around. Yeah. Because bringing them inside is going to be most helpful until we're consistently above 70 degrees. Anybody have any idea when that might be?
No.
Not at all.
So the last thing I'm going to talk about is companion crops. Anybody ever heard the term companion crop before?
Yeah, when you plant, because they kind of have some sort of symbiotic relationship to one another. Like
Absolutely.
they thrive together for whatever reason. Well,
so the companion crops to tomato, and these are things that if you'd like to try, you can actually drop right into the same 5-gallon bucket with your tomato. The companion crops are going to be things like basil, parsley, onions, anything that you would put in a tomato sauce.
Yeah, basically. I get it.
Those, and I would imagine over our culture and over our history, those things were eaten together because they were found together.
That makes a lot of sense. That's like a mind blown moment for me. All right, I dig it.
Okay. And what happens is basil gives off chemicals called terpenes. It's what gives basil that really deep aromatic smell, but it also gives off those terpenes, and which kind of shoo bugs away and keep bugs away from the tomato plants. And at the same time, the tomato plants give off a lot of dead leaf matter, which enriches the soil for the herb. And so there is that symbiotic relationship between the two. Typically any herb with tomato, marjoram, parsley, cilantro grows well with tomato. So those are good companion plantings for your tomato. Any of your, any herb that you would find in tomato sauce. So I covered the tools that you guys are gonna need, the activity, which is gonna be planting. You guys are really, it seems you've been sharing throughout, sharing some of the photos and stuff throughout. And so I'm gonna be over to the garden today at about 4 o'clock with tomato plants, soil, 5-gallon buckets, and tools. If anybody wants to go over this lesson in a social distancing, safe format.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there.
Awesome, awesome. Renata?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Renata?
Yes.
I appreciate you as always, and I want to thank Healthy Hearts Plus, Mommies, Babies, Bellies, and Daddies. Can you guys see me? I just lost you.
I can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see you.
As always, I'd like to thank Healthy Hearts Plus, Mommies, Babies, Bellies, and Daddies, LISC for funding the care and maintenance of and plantings in the garden. And I will see you all later on today, and we'll go over the live interactive portion of planting warm season crops and plant handling.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Keep up the good
as
work.
Always, and so this week, the links that I send around are going to be links of you guys that hopefully you'll share with your friends, your family, and we'll add to the collection of images of Black and brown people who are green living, who are promoting healthy lifestyles, because those images can be hard to find. So again, go ahead.
Yeah, I was she wanted me to bring up about the gangster gardener. About I guess how he spent 7 years. He's been in the game for 7 years, I guess. And the reason why he planted the plants is because he was, he was a gangster, I guess. So she wanted me to bring that up to you.
I hardly caught what. I didn't really catch what you were saying because it was really broken up. Ms. Renata, did you hear that?
She wanted me to share with you that me and her watched the Gangster Gardener and his videos. And she wanted me to share with you some of the things that we learned from him. So we got these notes, right?
Uh-huh.
First of all, his name is Ron Finley. He's a YouTuber. 7 years ago, he's from South Central LA, right?
Yep.
I'm from South Central LA.
You know about South Central? You said you know about South Central?
I'm from South Central. I was born there. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I know what you're talking about. I know the area and all of that, right?
Wow. Small world.
It's amazing how, a guy that was in the prison system you know, just not food. You can't read, you can't get just a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he doesn't look like the type of person that spends his life in the garden, but he does. His whole life, I'm talking about, he knows about specifics. And I'm like, I just do know specifics. You know, but that just goes to show me that you can never be too tough to plant a banana. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of gave me the energy to do what I'm doing right now. Because at first I was kind of like, that's your speed. But when I seen Ron, I'm like, all right, it's other people out here like me that do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of gave me a little
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and to your point, that's why I think it's, you know, what you guys are uncovering in this process is, and capturing images of yourself, discovering, you know, what you can add to the process is really important, because we need to see images of people who look like us and caring about the things, like there's no certain look, you know, and it isn't just college professors or hipsters, but it's anyone.
Right. And he also said that it reduced the crime rate around. You know what I'm saying? He did mention that. 3 videos he talks about explaining how to grow during the pandemic. You know, what's going on right now. You know, he also shared about how nobody is white, black, whatever race, we all are affected by, you know, what we plant and what we eat. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
He has 3 videos on YouTube right now, so if you want to check them out, it's named Ron Finley, Gilpin Garden. Real tough. Just spend 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and look at him. Ron Finley, YouTube.
I lost you guys a little bit.
The other girl.
We got you. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I had lost you guys a little bit.
Y'all never know what you look like, man. When y'all see him, y'all be like, oh, snap. Turn around on his face.
That's great. That's great. Well, Ms. K.
Oh, okay. Yeah, ready? I couldn't hear the very end there. So just a reminder, thank you very much, by the way, for sharing that. And it is, we keep asking you guys to send photos and pictures of you doing what you're doing and sharing what you find out about gardening and with your families and healthy lifestyles, because it is important that we each one teach one and take that approach. So the last thing that you see on the screen is just our reminders for practices in the garden today. Do practice social distancing while we're out there. Limit the number of people in the garden to 5. That limit is actually per 6-foot box. So you and your family would each be kind of stationed near one box. You all live together. So that would be fine. Any shared surfaces, you're going to be receiving brand new tools today. So you'll be sharing with your family, but, sanitize any shared surfaces, wear a mask. Anyone that doesn't have a mask, I'll have a few extras today. And also cover your mouth, nose when you sneeze or cough. And we're going to continue with those precautions. And so I just wanted to take a real quick moment and go over that, since we are going to all be connecting up today. Did anyone else have anything else? Share, add, or change? No? All right, well, that was it for me. Thanks.
That's it for me.
I'll see you guys at 4. Thanks.
All righty. Y'all take care.